Hey there, I'm here to tell you that you shouldn't let your lack of communication ruin a good relationship. Don't let your bad communication skill chase away people that are good to you. Now, I say this not blindly, I say this as someone who doesn't know how to communicate. And that has cost me a lot. I've always kept things inside. You would hurt me, and I wouldn't tell you that, okay, look, I don't like this thing. And in recent moments, I've seen good communication make a huge ass difference in my life, in my relationship with people, my friends, even my mom. Let me give a very recent example. So, I and a friend, we both agreed, not really agreed, but we both said that we weren't going to serve this year. But it happened that my mom made me understand that there's no need of waiting. I mean, you're just making excuses for yourself. You're just scared of actually, trying it out or doing that thing because it's a new thing. So you're obviously scared. I was like, okay, let's just see. So when the whole process started, when the registration process started, I registered and, everything was done. Now, I started feeling bad because this my friend who I made a pact with might feel like I slide her, stuff like that. So I was having anxiety. That sounds crazy, what? I was having anxiety of, telling her what the situation is. So I summoned the courage to open up and tell her, okay, look, this is what happened. I don't want you to feel like I slide you, yada yada yada. You know, guess what happened? Nothing. I mean, she was like, okay, she feels sad. She told me that she feels bad and all of that, but we just talked it out and it was good. And there's this relief that came with it. Like, I felt so relieved that I got this off my chest. And if you think about it, it's really not a big deal. Like, it wasn't something I should have anxiety over. But keeping it inside me made me feel anxious about telling her. I have started to see that there's a need for constant communication. There's now like a shift in my mindset. Before now, I would literally say, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to let things play out the way they are. I would be hoping that you, on the other end, know what is going on in my mind or can read my mind to know what the problem is or what the situation is. But now I'm like, I mean, nobody can read your mind. You have to actually say things because when you say those things, number one, it helps the other person to understand you. Secondly, it helps you to get that stuff off your chest. You're free, and the other person too understands you, and if it needs settling, you guys will settle, and everybody goes home happy. I've come to understand that when you don't communicate, things could go wrong. Things fester and grow in our minds. We create stories about what the other person is thinking, and this whole lack of communication could leak out as attitudes, passive aggression, distancing. The worst part is the other person who you're not communicating with would feel hurt and confused because they're wondering, what the hell have I done? Or what could be the problem? Or, stuff like that. And the psychological part of this is there's something called negativity bias, right? Where when there's silence or ambiguity, the brain tends to assume the worst. Another thing is resentment accumulation. When there are unspoken words or unspoken conversation between people, resentment tends to build up. There's these big walls and big and mighty walls that would grow between you and the other person when there's no communication. Good communication, on the other hand, clears up misunderstanding before they even grow. It builds trust and emotional safety. Good communication lets people show up for you. I mean, they can't help you if they don't know. And the best advantage of communicating is that it frees your mind. You don't get to pile up stuff in your heart. It prevents you from carrying unnecessary emotional weight alone. I know that communicating can seem scary because you have the fear of judgment, the fear of being vulnerable, Also, the fear of conflict, because you're kind of like trying to avoid conflict, right? So, you don't want to communicate. It's kind of the easier path to follow. Like, not talking about it is kind of easier. But if you avoid communicating, the result of not communicating is not something you want to put up with. Trust me. Another thing is acknowledging it takes practice and courage. You have to. Sometimes when I want to express how I feel, I practice like I'm talking to the person. That's how hard it is. Someone who is, very okay with communicating, someone who communicates frequently and very well might not understand how hard it is to communicate. And you can't blame them because it's something they've been doing. But you and me, I'm still including myself because I don't think I can just count myself as someone that is a full-time good communicator, because I think I'm still in the process. I've done good communication one or two times. That doesn't classify me or qualify me as someone that communicates well, but it's something I'm working on. It's something I'm trying to master. It's something I am wanting to, you know, keep doing. So I know in the long run, I'm definitely going to continue, communicating. But if you're someone that you're like me, you don't know how to communicate and you want to actually start doing it, because, come on, it's not nice. It's not nice to not communicate. Here's a little approach you can use. You can start small. You don't have to communicate everything yet. You were starting. So you can just start small. Say those little things that you think needs to be said. Communicate even when you feel it's awkward. Trust me. It's better you communicate when you feel it's awkward than you let that awkward feeling linger and stop you from communicating. The results or the aftermath of not communicating because you feel awkward, trust me, is way worse than the feeling of being awkward. Don't wait for the perfect time to bring it up, because trust me, the perfect time doesn't exist. Just say it when it comes. When you're thinking about it, just look for a way and say it. It's okay if it comes out messy. Trust me, honesty is better than eloquence. Honesty is what you're striving for, not eloquence. Basically, the essence of this video is to tell you that it's good to communicate. Lack of communication can cost you a whole lot, and you don't want that. You know, I'm talking from experience because I'm someone that doesn't communicate a lot. And it's so ironical because I have a degree in mass communication. How don't I know how to communicate? I feel like it's because it's deep rooted. Like, for as long as I can remember, I am someone that don't communicate. Even my mom complains about it. So it's not just, in my relationship. I've seen this lack of communication play a very huge part of conflict in my friendship with, people, in my relationship with people. And, since I'm on a journey of growth and I'm trying to do the things that would help me become a better person, why not, touch this lack of communication? So that's the essence of this video. When you're starting, it's not going to be easy, but with time, you're just going to get used to it. And I hope I get used to it, because I love this peace I'm having recently, because I decide to talk about how I feel. I love the peace it's bringing to me, because now I don't have to keep stuff to myself. I don't have to, say, okay, I'm not just going to talk about it. Now I'm like talking about it. And the best part is you get to express how you feel. Do you know the joy in that? You're literally taking a weight off your heart, off your mind, off your chest. One conversation can change everything. Trust me. One honest and open conversation can change everything. Go and start communicating if you do not do that. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you found this very useful.